this week's edition of Warriors Weekly here on 1580 WDAB for those of you listening and for those of you watching here on the SWU Sports Network at Southern Wesleyan University. I'm Dan Scott. Good to have you with us. This is week 3 of the show. We have an official name now, Warriors Weekly, and we are very happy to be back with you again. We're going to be talking some women's soccer later in the program with fourth-year head coach Corey Morrell. But first, we're going to talk some volleyball, and we welcome in Julia Reininga, entering her 5th season here at Southern Wesleyan. Yeah. Good to see you again.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks for having me.
Does it seem like it's been 5 years already?
I can't believe it. It has flown by, for sure. First year here, I couldn't believe being a northerner down here in the south. Felt a little crazy, but I absolutely love it. And it's really went by quick.
Have you got accustomed to the humidity yet?
No, not at all, not at all. But I do love the winters here. No snow has been amazing.
Yeah, there are some advantages. It's just, summer lasts from about April to the end of October sometimes. But I know the last couple of days prior to filming this anyway, we've had a nice little break from the humidity. I don't know if that helped your players in here at all as they wrapped up fall camp.
No, I mean, we did go camping during fall camp, so it was very hot and humid, but we enjoyed it. We were able to go swimming and beat the heat that way, but us being in the air conditioning, we're thankful for it for an indoor sport for sure.
Now, is that a typical team bonding exercise you'll do in the preseason?
Yeah, this was our first year going on the camping trip, and we had a blast until the storm came. Ended up at the Waffle House, but that was still a lot of fun. So I think it is going to be something we're going to continue to do each year.
There are a lot of great stories that end up with, and we ended up at the Waffle House.
Exactly. We just added to that. We just added to that list.
That's fantastic. Is this the first time you've been camping? Are there other team bonding activities that you've done in other preseasons?
Yeah, we've went roller skating to Gravitopia, done just a lot of like movie nights, campfires, all kinds of things like that. But this was our first overnight trip in training camp.
So for those of you who don't know, Gravitopia is a lot of
trampolines
and bouncing.
Yeah.
So you're taking your girls trampolining and skating. Obviously, you're not one concerned about preseason injuries.
Well, I'm one that just thinks, they got to be college students too. So, I mean, we're careful, but, you got to have some fun too.
Well, winning is fun. And that's something that you have established not only here, but in your entire career. We could read through your resume and just start rolling off accolade after accolade. But what you've done here at Southern Wesleyan in your previous 4 seasons with this volleyball program has been very, very good.
Thank you.
So just talk about where this program is now compared to where it was when you first got here.
I was blessed to come into a very good situation. I thought the team was strong when I arrived. So I was just able to take that and just kind of shift a couple things here or there that more aligned with my coaching style. And players just bought into it and have been on board. I've been very lucky to have great assistant coaches, great captains, and just a lot of the girls just being willing to do whatever I ask them to do. So that has just been really fun, and I just really enjoyed seeing the team progress every year. This year we have the largest roster we've ever had, and 17 players, 2 full-time managers, and I think that just speaks to what the girls in the past have done. They built this program, they built this tradition, and now we're getting kids to come that might not even have heard of us before, and we're getting calls with them saying, hey, I want to be a part of SWU volleyball. And so for me, it's just so exciting. And I just think that speaks to the legacy of the past players here in the program.
And with that comes, for the incoming players, I don't know if added pressure is the right phrase or not, but when there's been a winning tradition established, they certainly don't want to be the individual or the class that comes in and causes a hiccup along that road, they want to continue that
Right.
and improve on it.
Right, absolutely, and we talk about that. We talk about that in our first meeting of the year, and the tradition and the legacy that we want to uphold. And we never talk about winning. We just talk about doing the little things day by day, and we just let winning take care of itself. That's how we operate. We don't want to be the best team in the conference or in D2 right now. We just want to keep getting better every single week. That's our goal. And like I said, we just talk about doing the little things right, being consistent on and off the court, and then hopefully the scoreboard is going to show good results.
Well, in 4 seasons here, your teams have won 22, 27, 27, and last year 22 games again, and have become a fixture at the National Christian College Athletic Association National Tournament. And now you've got your full-time D2 status.
Yes.
And a full-fledged member of Conference Carolinas.
Yes.
Now you can start focusing on an NCAA tournament at the end of the rainbow. What's that like down for you as a coach?
Right. Well, what our team tries to do is we divide the season up into 3 seasons. We call it the practice season, and those are our out-of-conference games. We call it the conference season, and then we call it the championship season. And again, each week we just try to evaluate, are we getting better? What did we not do well last week that we want to improve upon this week? And so by the time we get to championship season, hopefully we're in where we want to be. And then hopefully if we just keep on that path, can stay healthy, we're going to end up where everybody's going to be happy.
And now with the NCAA Division II and the opportunity for NCAA playoffs, you got that little bigger carrot you can dangle at them at the end of the run, right?
The girls are very excited to have the opportunity to get into the NCAA tournament. It has, been a dream of ours. Even, like I said, past players, it was a dream of theirs. And so now they're seeing that this is something that could come true. I think it's very exciting for our alumni, for their parents, for our current players, for their parents. And so there's definitely a different kind of buzz right now leading into this season.
What about you as a coach? What's the excitement like for you? Because as I look at your resume here, you've done just about everything you can do at the National Christian College Association level, Athletic Association level, national championships, as a player, as a head coach at your alma mater, Bethel, and now the success you've had here. What does it mean to you to get a chance now to compete at that level?
It's very exciting. We have our first scrimmage tonight at Anderson, and hopefully I have the same mentality going into every single competition. But knowing that is out there for us to get has maybe put a little even bigger pep in my step, I hope. I think I want to preach to the girls that we go into every single competition like it's a national championship. And like I said, just start doing those little things. Better the ball every touch. That's all we want to do. Better the ball every touch. And hopefully we're going to have that mentality in every game. But I do know, and I know I feel it too, that having that extra thing that we can get to at the end finally, there's big excitement.
The good thing, though, is you've got the past record of success to fall back on. And you don't have to do anything differently just because you're moving up in NCAA Division II. You've established the way to win at this university. And that doesn't change regardless of where you play.
Correct. Yeah, we're not going to change the way we do things. We're not going to change the things that are important in our program, the things that are important in our athletic department, and the mission of the university. None of that is going to change with our new status, but I think what will change is hopefully we're going to be able to make an impact by meeting different people, different players, different teams, being on radio shows like this to get our mission out. And this has just brought up so many wonderful opportunities for us now being on this bigger stage. So I think that will change, but you're absolutely right. We're going to keep doing the things we do the way we do them, and in the end, I think we're all going to be very happy about the results.
Only got 3 or 4 minutes left, unbelievably. The time just flies by. In addition to being the head volleyball coach here, you're also associate AD and the senior women's administrator, which means you've had, like everybody else on campus, a large amount of work fall on you as this journey towards NCAA Division II happened. Just talk about your roles, though, as an administrator here, as well as volleyball coach, and how you balance the two.
Well, I was very thankful for the opportunity. About 2 months after I became the coach here, I was offered the senior woman administrator position, and just going through the application process for the NCAA and learning the ins and outs of the NCAA in Division II has just been an amazing opportunity for me. This will be my first year serving also as the Associate Director of Athletics. And again, that's something that I don't take lightly. And hopefully I'm going to be able to do both positions very well. I know there's going to be times where there's going to be a lot of balls up in the air, but with the staff that we have here, all the support we have here, I'm really anticipating a great year and even learning more than I have the past 4.
If you have too many balls in the air, you just bring Sarah Hughley in to let her kill them, right?
Yeah, Sarah Huey's back this year. She had 1 more year of eligibility left due to her medical red shirt. And she was ABCA and NCCA National Player of the Year last year. As great as she is as a volleyball player, the amazing thing about Sarah is she's even a better human being.
Or when you can find those people.
She's a coach's dream.
Yeah.
She's selfless, she's humble. You would never in a million years know how many awards she won. And she always puts her teammates before herself. And I think that's what makes Sarah so endearing and why her teammates love and respect her so much. Not because she is an amazing volleyball player, but because of how she carries herself.
You have Paige O'Connor, Katie Anderson, Kendall Valancourt, also among your key returners coming back. And you mentioned we're recording this on Monday, so tonight is the scrimmage with Anderson. What about the regular season opener? Let's get some fans into the gym here. So when are the opportunities coming up to see this team play for real?
We have our blue-white scrimmage, so you'd be able to see the entire roster play, which would be a great opportunity. August 31st at 7 o'clock here at historic Tysinger. And then we're also, our first home match is September 7th at 6:30 p.m. Here at Tysinger. And we would love to see a packed house, rowdy. We're so fortunate of the students and the staff and the faculty and the community come and support here. They're big into volleyball, which is very exciting. You get a couple hundred people in historic Tysinger and that place is rocking. So we're so thankful for our home game atmosphere, and we would love to have everybody come out and support the team. We do some fun challenges between games 2 and 3, so people can take part in that as well.
What do you think about historic venues like this? They can be an acoustical nightmare for opponents if you can get the home team, the home fans in there and get them really fired up.
Yeah.
Julia, thank you so much for joining us. It's not going to be the last time. We'll be checking in with you from time to time throughout the season.
Thank you so much.
All right, that is Julia Reininga here on Warriors Weekly. When we come back, we're going to shift gears and talk some women's soccer with Corey Morrell. That's right after this on 1580 WDAB. We'll take a break and be right back. Welcome back to Warriors Weekly here on 1580 WDAB for those of you who are listening and for those of you who are watching. We are, of course, here on the SWU Sports Network. We're in the lobby of historic Tysinger Gymnasium, although I understand next week we're going to have a new set home, and we're looking forward to that, and also getting involved with some of the students who are involved in some of the communications classes here, putting them to work, cheap labor, man. That's what we like around here. I'm Dan Scott. We just had a great visit with Julia Reininga, the volleyball coach. We're going to spend the rest of the show talking women's soccer with fourth-year head coach Morrell. How you doing?
Doing very good. Thanks for having me today.
Thank you for coming on and spending some time with us here today. How has preseason gone?
Preseason has been very good. Very good. Always going through the grind. You know, you're always trying to push them further than they think they can go and avoid all those injuries. But we've had a very good preseason. Hasn't been very long yet, but we're still working onward and upward. So far so good. We're happy with what we've seen.
I always like to ask coaches, regardless of the sport, do you ever feel like you have enough time to prepare for the first game of the season?
Never.
And that's always the answer I get
never,
too. So.
Never. And this year we had a change to our academic calendar, which pushed everything back. So we had some preseason scrimmages. We had a scrimmage after only 2 days of practice. So we did a lot of good things in that scrimmage, but you could tell we were a bit unorganized.
A little cat herding going on.
Yeah. We had 13 returners and 9 newcomers, so not quite half and half, but we're pretty close. So that was an interesting day, 2 days after preseason.
So since that point, are you seeing progress?
Yes. We're getting there. And one of the best things that I've seen about this team is how we've come together off the field. One of the tightest knit teams I've been around. And that's not just coach talk. This team really is a good example of loving each other, being good friends. You know, we've talked a lot about being a good teammate is a choice. It's a choice you make. And when they're 30 years old and 40 years old, they're probably not going to remember their record, but they're going to remember how they felt when they were here playing, how they were with their teammates, the memories they had. They're going to pick up the phone and call a good teammate.
Right.
As I think back to my college days, a few games stand out, you know, one with lots of fog or something, but I remember my teammates and how we felt. So we talk about that's a choice. That's a choice they have to make. There's going to be conflict. There's going to be times they don't get along, but they've got to make that choice to be a good teammate, push each other so far off the field. The new players have come in with humility, ready to embrace the team culture. The returners have led well, so I'm really impressed with where we are in the locker room right now, which will pay dividends as we get into the season.
Absolutely. There's a little irony there because my brief college experience was spent mostly in a fog, so kind of a little bit of the same thing. When you talk about team chemistry and some of the things you just mentioned, a lot of times those are just buzzwords thrown around. I can tell though that that's genuine coming from you. So it's incumbent upon the coaches to recruit the right type of people, someone who may be the best soccer athlete you've ever seen that you could get to come to this program may not be a fit for this program because of what you're trying to bring together in the locker room.
Absolutely. Who they are off the field, who they are when you watch their body language on the field, whether they have a bad play or something doesn't go their way. What I really look for is how they interact with their parents. If they show their mom and dad respect, then that means a big deal to me. If some of them don't seem like they respect their parents, that's a big red flag for me. So all that stuff off the field that you can tell, for me, is it's never 100% accurate, but you do the best analysis you can, and you definitely look for who they are off the field, even how they respond on the field too.
Yeah, and coaches talk about that all the time. You're going to miss sometimes. There are going to be things that slip through the cracks simply because you can't spend an inordinate amount of time with each and every recruit that you're going after. But by and large, if you have a standard, you can pretty much meet that standard.
Yep, absolutely. And we feel like we've done that over the last 4 years since I've been here, building that standard, building that culture. This is my first time coaching girls, this 4-year stretch here, and one thing that I've learned with them is I have to be a lot more intentional with off-the-field stuff, off-the-field, building that team chemistry. Guys are a little bit more deep, have different compartments, and they can go out on the field if they've had a bad day or whatever and still kind of perform, and for girls it's all connected. So when things aren't going well in the locker room or on campus, they usually bring that on the field. So I've learned slowly, being a guy, I don't learn quick, but slowly being more and more intentional about building that off the field.
In order to pull that kind of chemistry together, you also have to have players who buy in, and that means that your older players have to really wrap their arms around the younger players when they come into the program. And it sounds to me like you've got that.
Yes. Coach Reininga 2 years ago, and the athletic department started a SALT program, leadership. And last year we had 2 players attend that in the preseason. This year we have another 2 players. My 2 captains this year, Marlon Burgos and Leah Moorfield, they have both gone through that. One last year, one this year. And you can see those dividends of learning leadership to start paying off. They were voted by their teammates, nearly unanimously, each one of them. They have been phenomenal over the summer, reaching out to the new players, reaching out to the returners. Hey, how are your workouts going? All that kind of stuff. Phenomenal over the summer. They've come in. It's preseason. They're two leaders that lead by example. They're not the most vocal leaders you'll ever meet. They'll speak up when they have to, and they say what they need to. But they're two of the hardest workers on the team. They're passing the fitness test. They're doing everything they're supposed to do. Good in the classroom. They're what you need, and they're perfect.
And that's the most important thing, because you can make, you can say all the right things, you can make the phone calls to encourage your teammates, and then if you show up and you're not in shape, and you haven't done the very things you've been getting on them about doing, any credibility you have goes right out the window.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We're visiting with Corey Morrell, the women's soccer coach here, and entering his 4th season. You know, we could, if we wanted to, focus on numbers, and the wins have been few and far between. But numbers aside, why are you optimistic about this program as this season unfolds? What is there to be optimistic about with this soccer program?
Yeah, I think record speaks for itself. Not very good. We've been building in a way that doesn't show up on the scoreboard. That does sound like coach speak a little bit. But super excited about this year with some of the returners we have coming back in, and some of the new players we have, and what we've already talked about, the chemistry we have now in the locker room, the way they're going to fight for each other and push each other and love each other and care more about the person sitting beside them than themselves. Those things mixed with who we brought in and who we have returning, we feel really, really good about.
The notes that Sean gave me prior to doing the interview said that when you came in here 4 years ago, you brought a new style of play. How would you characterize your style of coaching?
Like to keep the ball. We like to possess the ball and keep it as much as possible. The style before is a little bit more direct, so they just try to get upfield as quickly as possible. We didn't quite, I feel, have the personnel to match that, and it's not really who I like to be. I like to keep it, and if we can get upfield quickly, then get upfield quickly, but we want to keep the ball. You know, the theory is if we don't have the ball, we can't score, and if we have the ball, the other team can't score. So it's a little bit slower playing, a little bit more possession, going side to side, trying to use possession to spread the other team out and find those zones to attack.
Which then means you have to also, when you go recruiting, find players who fit your system.
Find players with composure, that when they get the ball, they're okay keeping it, they're okay having a touch, getting their eyes up and looking around. They're not, they don't just panic and kick the ball away. So yeah, finding that composure, the technical ability to kind of pass, those are big components to the possession style of the game.
So you've got some key returners coming back. You mentioned a couple of them just a moment ago. Marlon Burgess, Grace Taylor, your senior midfielder, is back. Courtney McNeil, a junior goalie. Beth Spence, a junior midfielder. And Aaron Exline, a senior defender. So of the 5 key returners, 3 of them are juniors. So you've got a nucleus for the future.
Yep, absolutely. Those are all big key components for us. We're excited about all of them. Another big returner that redshirted last year was Charlie Brown. She's coming back as a forward. She's a big, strong, physical forward, so it kind of gives us a presence up top. But Marla's a center back. She reads the game very well, uses her body excellent. You see her running, she doesn't look like she's all that fast, but nobody ever outruns her. She's got that kind of ability. Erin Exline coming out from, she's a fullback. She's been here 4 years, so she has that position down pat. She knows what to do. Courtney McNeil in goal. Started last year, very solid for us. So a lot of components coming back.
The big story around the school this year, obviously, is the immersion into NCAA Division II. And it presents a lot of challenges for you from a competition standpoint, but it also presents a lot of advantages maybe in recruiting that you didn't have. What's this like for you now that you've got that Division II banner that you can wave, not only here at the school, but when you go out and talk to potential players?
Yeah, it's huge. When you bring the NCAA brand into a recruit's living room or to them after a game meeting, they know what it is. They recognize it. When before they might not have, you have to explain to them what organization we're in. So now they know it, they get it, they love it, they want to be a part of it. I know that we have a couple players on our team right now that wouldn't be here if we weren't NCAA. When you reach out to them, they're immediately interested in the NCAA brand. They want that, and they recognize it. So it's huge for recruiting. Surely our name is spreading through the upstate and state of South Carolina, but even as far as New York and Florida and even California is talking to recruits. I mean, even if they don't know SWU, they know the brand and they know what that brings.
Right.
So they're immediately interested.
Well, as mentioned, we're recording this on Monday afternoon on 1580 WDAB. It's airing on Tuesday afternoon. When do the fans have a chance to see this team in action?
Yeah, our schedule's a little bit front end away heavy, so poor scheduling by head coach's part. But we're away at Anderson on September 1st, and then we're away at Bob Jones on September 1st, and away at Anderson that Saturday, September 3rd. Then we have another away game at West Georgia. I don't have it right in front of me, but I believe our first home game may be Saturday, September 10th. So it'll be another week or two before we get back on home turf, but it'll all even out by the end of the year.
You wouldn't mind fans traveling?
No, not at all.
Bob Jones is just right up the road.
Yeah, Bob Jones isn't far. Anderson is even closer. So yeah, absolutely. All on the website there.
Good deal. So looking forward to a good year, I think.
Yeah, we're excited. We have a lot of fun together. We're working hard, we're pushing each other, but you can just tell that there's a level of excitement and a level of fun that the team's having. And if you're having fun, it's a lot easier to work harder. So we're super excited.
And then, as we all know, winning is the most fun.
That's right.
So,
winning adds to it.
Well, let's hope this is the year that everything breaks through for you and you can start adding the wins to everything else that's going right in this program, because there's an awful lot going right now.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
This show airs every Tuesday afternoon at 4:30 p.m. on 1580 WDAB. It is also archived on our website, 1580WDAB.com. And, of course, Warriors Weekly, also the video is archived on SWUathletics.com here on the SWU Sports Network. We'll be back with you again next week for another edition of Warriors Weekly. Until then, for our guests, Morrell and Reininga, I'm Dan Scott saying God bless you. So long, everybody.